This thing wey dey happen for Gabon na wetin you go see in a country where this thing wey dey call democracy no dey work any longer. This is just few months after Niger, after military took over the Niger government. We never even finished talking that one. Gabon military don take over Gabon just yesterday. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending where you're watching this video from and the time I'm gonna see this video. I remain my humble self, the icon. If you're coming across my page for the first time, I would like you to share my videos, like, comment, and follow my page if you're not following me. When the government is not working, the people can never be happy with such governments. According to the news I gathered, this Gabon is one of the best oil producing country when it comes to Central Africa. But if you go there, nothing is happening. The man that was declared winner again, his family, according to the news, his family has been in power for good 55 years, just one family. That this man himself has been in power since 1999. That time when Obasanjo there for power. That this man has been in power just 99 years and he will also have to contest again. And within this particular election time, this man shut down the internet so that no internet observers go enter the country. Nothing will happen just for him to satisfy his own selfish interests. Now, see what the thing don't lead that country to him, because the military has put him under house arrest. I would like you to watch what this man said. He said that Ali Bongo bought the ingredients. He bought the ingredients that they used to cook waiting in the eat today. Just watch what this man talk. More news on this Gabon military takeover. As you're watching it, try to share it, like it, comment, and follow my page. I think other African countries will sit up, because things, if they don't happen, no, if they don't start to happen, if they like, let them feel less concerned. When the thing go hit them, then go understand the point. We move.
African nation of Gabon, where a pose of soldiers earlier today seized power and put President Ali Bongo under house arrest, have been nothing short of profound. Videos have also emerged of the dethroned president appealing for outside intervention for him and his family. African affairs analyst Dr. Victor Okhai joins us now to discuss the coup in Gabon and how to tackle the coup epidemic in Africa. Well, thank you so much for joining us on Newsday.
Thank you for having me.
I mean, this is a very interesting development, isn't it? Barely a month after the coup in Niger, ECOWAS, the African Union, they're still trying to restore democracy. And now we have another coup in Gabon. What would you say is causing this wave of military takeovers?
Well, the spate of civilian dictatorship. And I think it's important to state that the Bongo family has been in power for 56 years. 56 years. The father would still have been in power if not for his ailment and then his eventual demise and all that. But, you know, and then the son has been there, the current leader has been there since 1999. Okay, and he's intent on continuing, which means he and Obasanjo at almost about the same time, you know, have been in power, and he intends. So you see, there comes a time when even the people would have had enough. You know, ordinarily, Gabon is one of the stabler, the more stable democracies, you know, on the continent. They have a stable and growing economy as well. But when, and I keep using the word, when a dictator insists that, you know, it must always be his way or the highway, this is what you get. The last election just opened up, the election that was just concluded a couple of days ago, was the last straw. First of all, foreign observers, which is why I find interesting the fact that he's making an appeal. Foreign observers were not allowed in Foreign journalists were not allowed in. Internet was, shut down. For what? You understand what I'm saying? Just so you can have your way over a people and against their will. And so, and it is things like this that provide, excuse my language again, the ingredients for cooking coups. You know what I mean? So, and he actually cooked, he had bought all the ingredients for a coup, and it was served to him. And that's what happens to civilian dictators and people who insist on having their way over the will of the people.
And the fact that they've been releasing videos of Gabonese citizens running into the streets celebrating as news of the coup broke out, it just piggybacks on what you were saying, this irresponsible government.
Truth is, coup plotters derive their oxygen from the heartbeat of the people.
Yeah.
Did you hear what I said? It depends on the pulse of the people. Coup plotters would usually, and if you notice, when coups don't succeed, we have often said that if you look at the history of Gabon, this is like the third coup. It's been stable for over a period of time. The first one was in 1964, and in that coup, there was an immediate reinstatement because France had an interest. Mba at the time was their president, and then when the coup happened, the French just went in immediately and restored him. 2019, the just deposed president's father was in a vegetative state. He had stroke. He was not even in the country. I don't know if you saw videos at the time of the man moving and it was so embarrassing. The French were propping him up, keeping him. That coup did not succeed also because of the French. We keep coming back to this, but it looks like the one thing that we have common running through this time around is, the imposition of the French over the will of the people. Okay, and that's not democracy. Democracy derives from the people. Democracy does not derive from external forces. And so that's what you find. So this had to succeed, or this, I don't know, it's early days yet, but so far, you can see that the people are clearly very happy about it and they're behind him. And I can assure you that he's asking people to make noise. He has shut down the noisemakers. He has taken the internet from them. Those who should make noise for him, he has literally shut their mouths. So now there's no voice to speak for him.
But then I'm wondering, what impact this coup would have on France's relations with its former colonies, especially as it seems its influence and interest in Africa are now being undermined, by this wave of military takeovers. If you're talking about the friends, that will come to their rescue, will France be one of them, considering the roles they've played in the past?
Come to whose rescue now?
To the rescue of the deposed president.
Well, whatever happens, like I said, coup plotters will derive their oxygen from the pulse of the people, or from the heart, or the heartbeat of the people. There is no way that, they would try, because that's what they've been doing over the past, but they're not, it's not popular right now. France is persona non grata right now. The name is, even if they don't like Russia and Bongo, they will go and, I'm saying Bongo in Gabon, they will go and get Russian flag, whatever that means. I think it's just a metaphor for their newfound freedom, not necessarily a newfound love for any of these other countries, but just a way of saying, look, enough is enough. France will attempt, and there's something I suspect that may happen. They may begin to do preemptive coups now.
So that's what I was going to ask you next.
France might do preemptive coups now in some of its territories, and where our eyes are on some of them, and then they will now put their own, preemptively put their own puppets there as if it was a coup. And I think the people should be very, very smart and alert, because these people are desperate. We are taking the oxygen out of, I keep using that word a lot today, but in another light now, we're taking the very oxygen out of France, and they desperately need to breathe. Africa has been their lifeline, and it's not going to be easy for them to let go. It's going to be a hard fight, a long drawn fight, But so far, the people seem to be winning.
And what should the leaders of West African nations be keeping at the back of their mind right now? Just like you said, there could be a preemptive situation where some of these former colonial powers decided they want to place someone that is easier to deal with. What should they be looking out for in order to avoid this contagion? Because in a very sad way, a lot of people around news, I mean, a lot of people everywhere are asking the question, where is next? Because it seems that it's not stopping. It's a contagious situation, yeah. And leadership is classically bad around these parts. What do you say?
I'll draw from your last phrase, classically bad in these parts. There is no antidote against good governance. If the people are happy with you, the coup is very, very difficult to, I mean, it's going to be difficult to succeed in a coup situation. So simply, Bongo, like I said, he provided all the ingredients by his very actions and all that. Allow, if it's Western democracy you want, allow it to thrive. Do not impose your will on the people. Do not, bad governance, corruption, and imposition, either by the leaders themselves or by the West, over the will of the people, is a panacea for coups. So the best thing to do is, you know, rule your people well, avoid corruption, and do not let the people, draw your oxygen from the people, not from external forces. And that, for me, will ensure that a government remains popular and on the seat among its people.
Okay, so how do you expect the African Union, to react to what just happened in Gabon, and also to strengthen democracy in Africa, considering the fact that what we seem to have now, like you said earlier, is a dictatorship and not really democracy as it should be practiced?
Unfortunately, the teeth have been pulled out of the mouth of African Union. Unfortunately. I mean, by now, the African Union would have weighed in on some of the things that are happening. But they all happen to be a bunch of, excuse my language, people, I won't use word, let me not use the word corrupt loosely, but compromised leaders. A lot of them. Many of them are puppets, and so they take their dictation from somewhere other than Africa. And so, because of that, they can't even talk. Right now, what are they going to do? They should have, I mean, they don't even have credibility anymore. It's so unfortunate. So, this is why the people are, seizing the gauntlet now, taking, deciding to just do things on their own. As you can see, in Niger, the people are with the administration. And I keep saying, and I'll keep repeating it, I do not support military coup. I do not think the army is the best way, but it does appear like that is the only way to reset civilian dictatorship. Because for me, civilian dictatorship is the worst form of government, not even the military. Because the military will come, they will go, but civilian dictators will have an appearance of a democracy, and they are the worst type of people, So there's a reset right now, but that power is being drawn from the people. In Niger, you can see how the people are supporting them. I keep calling them Bongo. In Gabon, you can see that the people are also happy to be free. I don't want to begin to mention names, but it's obvious that there are some other African countries where some ancient
lifelong rulers.
Yes, I was say ancient and modern leaders. Stay put dictators. Yeah. Those civilian dictators. We still have a few of them, and they may have to go very, very soon.
Dr. Okai, speaking of having to go, we have to go. Thank you so much for this conversation, and of course we continue to monitor the developments.
Thank you.